What's up guys, and welcome to another day of Vlogmas. Right now, at the moment, it's raining outside. It's been terrible weather for the last 3 days, so I haven't been able to record anything, but good thing I had something in store for you guys, because while doing this Vlogmas thing here in December, I've also been working on my form through 5 fieldwork sessions, and I'm gonna show you footage from 4 of them where I have been working on footwork. So basically I'm trying to make a series where I don't know if you probably remember in Vlogmas something, I don't remember what, I made this video on 3 training principles that will increase efficiency when it comes to fieldwork, and I have been trying to apply that to my own form, my own fieldwork sessions, and it has been working out pretty well so far, I would say. Basically, the goal for this entire series is going to go throughout the entire winter, and I'll see just how good my form can get. If I can get to a point where I can throw effortlessly and throw maybe, let's say 130, 140 meters, that's the dream, right? Maybe it's going to be 110, 120, that's still progress. But most importantly, we want to make our form beautiful and perfect, because that's, can't measure everything in distance. I think having good form, solid, textbook form also increases accuracy and consistency and stuff like that. So that's really what I'm going to measure it by. So this first one, this video that I'm going to show you right here is the one that I'm starting with. This is the fieldwork session I did before this entire series to have a base, have something to build from, and also get an idea of what my form looks like. So today's video is going to be footwork. So pay close attention to my feet, what they are doing, and maybe think for yourself what's wrong with it, because it's terrible. I'll just let you know right now. Let's watch it. This is a slow-mo video from 16th of November. Come in here, X step, jumping into it, in the brace here, boom. Alright. So, let's break it down. First step here, already a little long, I don't know. You remember me talking about when you do this field work, one of those principles is going to be slowing things down, and I think in general, that's just going to be healthy for my form, because I'm going way too fast. I'm kind of falling into the shot here. Look at how, once I get to this point, or even here, jumping to my X step here. Pretty long X step I'm doing and jumping into it. And then now I'm here, look at my weight. My weight is so far from my left foot, I'm already way into my right foot here, falling into it, and I'm all backwards and stuff because I'm trying to break my momentum or whatever it is. Falling into it, and we're trying to catch ourselves here on the brace with the right leg. We do successfully, luckily, so we don't fall, but what kind of power do we get from that, right? I'm going way too fast. Look at this wide stance here between my 2 legs. I'm a short guy, and I'm not supposed to have 2 meters between my legs when I'm throwing. So yeah, that's the first thing. I need to slow down. I think that's going to be the most important part. That's a little spoiler for you. But another thing that I'm realizing here, and everything is going to be effect of that speed, This right here is alright. We don't think about how this step is unnecessarily long, but we get into this part here. I want it to be kind of perpendicular to the way we're throwing, or wait, what is that? Yeah, perpendicular. I think it's 90 degrees away from what we're throwing. This third last step, and it kind of is. By the way, we're throwing in the direction of this driver, but you should know because you watched my principles video. So it's kind of perpendicular to the driver. That's fine. We're coming in here, and already here we're starting to turn back. Look at my hips here. They're facing a little bit this way maybe. And as I'm going into my X step, as I'm landing here, look at this. I'm already turned back all the way this way, which is way too early to be turned back. Right now I should still be facing forward, like looking forward and facing perpendicular to the target, in my opinion. So we're landing here. Because we have so much speed, we're having to land with our foot literally 180 degrees away from my target. It's parallel with the driver, so we need to turn this heel back a little bit so that we get sort of like this angle or something like that. That's what we want here with the left foot on the X step. So we're kind of falling backwards here, which results in the weight going way too far forward here, falling into the other foot, having to catch ourselves. Like I said, we do that successfully. But already here, look at this. This is crazy. I'm just getting my right foot down and into the ground and ready to catch myself, and this toe is already going up and I'm on my heel. This is not good, guys. I'm on my heel, which means there's no more power to be gained from this leg now, because the only thing that can really give me anything momentum wise or rotation wise is my momentum going this way right now. So we're having to catch ourselves there, falling into it, and this is where we start throwing. We've now successfully braced. Actually, everything taken into consideration, my brace is pretty decent. It's like just over perpendicular to the driver, which is what we want. So we can still have our hips locked in this way and have potential in the hip rotation still. So this is actually good. Obviously, don't mind my upper body. I'm pulling it too early, but don't mind that. Just imagine I'm still ready to throw here. But this brace is actually fine. I'm not gonna work too much on that. Watch this left foot, man. Look at this, dragging across the ground. You see that? From here to here, my foot is dragging and like kind of breaking my momentum. I'm getting into this leg. My right leg is working hard, dude. Like what? Catching my weight and somehow managing to get onto my heel and rotate successfully and getting my hips forward eventually. But like I said, all of this is from a momentum, and my left leg is not putting any power whatsoever into the throw. In fact, it's stopping my momentum instead, taking away some of the power. If my left leg fell off right here and wasn't there, I would have more rotation speed into my right leg, because there was no leverage behind, you know. That's missed potential right there. All right, there you go. So that's what we're working with. And the first thing that I'm gonna do in this next session here is trying to slow things down, make shorter steps, and we will work from there. Let's get to this next clip. All right, so this is the next one, my next session, and let's just watch this one. Already here, smaller first step, smaller second step. This looks nice. Have still kind of perpendicular to the driver, maybe even facing a bit more forward. I'm not running ahead, I'm not already turning back here. Look at this nice little X step here. Remember, what I'm focusing on here is making everything slower and shorter. I'm doing that well so far. This is a decent sized X step, I'd say. I'm landing on my toe, which is good, but still rotating back a little bit too much on the leg here, but it's acceptable. My weight is more in the middle now, but still kind of ahead of my left leg. Landing here. Boom. This is my new, look at like before this left leg would have been out over here and turned way back. Now we've actually narrowed it down a little bit. We're not having to jump over to our right leg. We can actually race a little bit from our left to the right. And this actually looks pretty nice, I'd say. So already here, I think we've made a ton of progress just by slowing things down. And by the way, slowing things down isn't free, guys. It's not easy. It's still challenging, I would say. One thing I'll say here, my hips are turned this way now, and by the time I release it, it's this way, so it's not a huge amount of rotation in the hips, but I've managed to not fall into my throw, which I love my hug face, by the way. Look at that. It looks like I'm trying to, whatever. I'm not falling into my shot anymore, having to catch my momentum. I can be more controlled with it here. But I still don't think, if you look at my left leg, I still don't think I'm really getting a lot of power from it, but at least it's not breaking anymore. Like my foot isn't dragging anymore, the left one. So that's big progress. All right, skip ahead 2 days to the next clip. Here we go. All right, 2 days ahead now. Here we go. Next step here. Like I said before, we weren't really generating any power from the left leg. So you're still having that nice controlled, oh look how controlled that looks. Kind of stepping forward, love it. Look at this, it's almost perpendicular to the driver now. I am so happy about this left leg doing that right now. This is beautiful. Not turning back, I'm still on the toe. You can see my heel is still lifted, so I still have good potential in my left leg. Let's keep going here. Boom, okay. Look at my left knee here. From the point where my right leg touches. Basically, if you want to make sure that you're driving the hips forward and not dragging them forward. Okay, I think I'll explain that one a little bit more. So before, what was happening with my hips was my upper body would kind of go first around, and my hips would have to turn around with it. Like if you're, I will use this picture. I like to ski, and if I want to do a 180 on ski, I will turn my upper body around, which would then pull my legs with me, right? That's the easiest way to get rotation when you're jumping on skis. And that's kind of what I was doing here in my disc golf throw as well. I was throwing with my upper body, rotating my upper body around like this, and because the tension from here to here, my lower body had to kind of follow the upper body. So I was rotating my lower body as an effect of my upper body. I don't know if that makes any sense to you, but what I want to do is actually the opposite thing. I want my lower body to explode forward first and be active in the throw. So I want to drive my hips from this turn back position, it could be a bit more, I don't know, this turn back position to here. If I get that hip rotation first, and then that will pull my upper body, then it will actually generate power instead of taking away power from my throw. So that's basically how I'm trying to make my lower body active. And the way I want to do that, actively rotating my lower body before my upper body, is what I'm focusing on is this knee. It's here in a good position here. It needs to be turned forwards, because you stand up and do that right now for yourself. If you turn your knee forward, you can't do that without rotating your hips forward as well. So that's what you want to drive your knee into the target. Look what I'm doing here. Boom. I'm getting some of that knee rotation. Now my upper body is rotating too early, so I'm not really getting the timing right. But I would say my hips are rotating actively now with this, which is awesome. It's exactly what we want. So this is like my first little touch on how it feels for having my lower body being active in the throw and actually rotating by itself, because I'm trying to drive it into it here. Okay, so we're gonna have one session left, and that's gonna be the final one for this video, and this final one for me working on my footwork for the first part. Now, I will let you know, or I'll show you here, what the difference between this session and the next one is. Look at this. I'm here. Like I said, oops. I'm rotated backwards, which is good. The knee is slightly bent, which is okay. It's not very bent. While I'm driving my knee forward, my leg kind of stays bent this entire time, this one. And also, this leg is staying bent. So I'm never really getting the full potential. I'm not really pushing off of this leg a lot. It's rotating, which is good, but I'm not pushing off of it. So that is, again, missed potential. If I was to stretch my leg here, I would be able to push more momentum into my right leg, which I'm not doing as much as I could. All right, keep that in mind, and let's go to the next clip, the final clip. And here we have it, the final one for now. We're coming in. Boom, perpendicular, we love it. This one, perpendicular to the driver, almost, which is good. Bending the knee here, keeping my weight kinda as much as I can on top of this one, while striding out this right leg. Okay, that was a little too far. Look at this, that's where my right leg lands. I'm still a little bit too far forward here, but still, I have potential here. I'm on my toe still, I have my knee bent, my hips are turned backwards a little bit, and I'm ready to push into my right leg. And on this one, I actually managed to stretch my leg while rotating the knee forward. So that's a little extra momentum. I'm getting active rotation from my lower body, as well as getting forward momentum by pushing from my left to the right, moving my weight to the right leg actively and catching myself. This knee right here, optimally Ezra Idaho does this really well and talks a lot about it. This one needs to be stretched for the rotation to be optimal. It's not quite, I could work more on that. This is my bracing position where I'm rotating. If this one was straight, I would be able to rotate faster around it, and the knee wouldn't absorb any of the power. But it's not perfect, but it's much better. And rotating that left knee driven forward, and look, when I'm releasing the disc here, my left leg is off the ground, which means I've gotten my momentum and my weight fully over to my right leg. Let's now compare the beginning to the final one here, the first session to the fourth session, and see just how much this has changed. This might have seemed like very subtle little changes to you as I'm going through different fieldwork sessions, and that's how it feels when you do it. Every time I go out and do these fieldworks, I'll throw like maybe 100 to 130 shots or something, and it seems like it's going so slow and it's not really working, but really, let's see just how much this has changed in my footwork game. All right, we got it here side by side. The one on the left over here is my initial starting point, and this one on the right is my fourth fieldwork session and the final one for my legs for now. And let's just see the difference here. Let's go kind of step by step or position by position. So this one, I think the first important position, let's say, is this one right here, the X step. I'm already turned back quite a bit, and it's kind of a long X step. Let's get this one to that position. It's going slow. Boom. Getting into the X step here. Look at that. So this one, my hips are already turned back like this. Here I'm still turned kind of, let's say, parallel to the driver. This left foot is coming down kind of perpendicular to that. This one over here is already backwards. Let's go a little bit forward. Boom. So coming into the position where all my weight is on the left leg, and I still haven't landed my right one. Look at this, turned way back. The knee is way back. Everything is ready to throw at this point. And really, I should just throw from my left leg here, is what it looks like. And my right leg is flying uncontrollably towards the target. And over here, we're controlled, going slow. Looks nice and compact. Yep, this looks good. That's how it's supposed to look. Let's move forward into the brace, or into the landing position. Here, that's where we land with our right leg. This one, boom, there. Look at this, the difference in this. This is insane. Which position here do you think looks more powerful and has more potential footwork-wise? This one, I'm on my heel here. I'm falling into my right leg, and my right leg has to catch it. Like way too wide. I'm having to jump from my left leg over to my right leg. This one, way more controlled, landing within a reasonable distance, and we're still on the toe, and we're kind of, still have our weight somewhat close to the left leg here, so that we can push it towards the right. Kind of ready to launch here. Look here, my left leg has been dragging across the ground. Let's actually just see that again because it looks so crazy. Left leg drags over there, boom, and it's still on the ground. It's been braking this entire time. This one, from the left leg, pushing out onto the right leg while rotating the hips forward. Boom, look at that hip rotation. Boom, love it. All right, so that's gonna wrap it up for this video here. I'm not completely satisfied with how my footwork is looking after this. I think there's still definitely some things that I could work on, but I can't completely fix 100% of my footwork before moving on to some of the other things. So that's where we are now. And the next part is gonna be my right arm, what that's supposed to be doing, reach back, and stay tuned for that. I think that video is gonna drop some point in January when I'm done working with it. I think I will give every part of my throw about a month to work on, depending on how many sessions I'm able to do, obviously. But thank you for watching, guys, and go over and check Magnus out tomorrow over on his channel. He's gonna do the next Vlogmas, and he has a bunch of pre-recorded stuff, so he's not limited by the weather. I think he has some cool videos for you, and I'll see you guys in exactly 2 days.